the inventory is getting a revamp. We know this. We do. The core gameplay team is pushed forward on the inventory revamp. This involved working on the equipment area where players can add weapons, mods, and equipment, including tractor beams and medical guns. They said, we are bringing back the ability to have 2 weapons stored on your back while you hold a 3rd one in your hands. Yay! I get so freaking tired of trying to juggle my weapons in this game, man. Holy lordy, it's annoying. Let's take a look at what we have latest on the inventory, because they have shown it off. The inventory has hit me. There's only one other time that something has happened like the inventory, in my opinion. Check this out. So some concept images that they released. This was in, I believe, January of 2022 was when they were showing these off. And you see these, and your first thought is, these are cool, but it's Star Citizen. These are going to take literal years to get to our hands. Kind of like how we felt about the distribution centers, which were actually dropped in the game and then dropped from reality. But these, in a similar way, well, they kind of have been left alone in the game since they arrived. I really didn't think that they would get into the game too quickly, but it was only, I want to say, let's see, this is 2022. Yes, so this was in February of 2022. And then the other one, this was in May of 2022. And then this was in June of 2022. So in the space of like 5-6 months, they actually went from a concept that normally you wouldn't expect to get delivered to the game to an actual usable asset in the game. The other thing that they're doing this with, in my opinion, is the inventory. I am actually quite surprised at the speed at which they're moving with the new inventory. We can go back to this video where I believe they do show us a concept of the inventory. Here we go. So here was the first look we got at the inventory. And this was in July 3rd of 2025. Now we can see some of the stuff that they're describing in the monthly report. Let's go back to it. They say they're adding an area where players can add weapons, mods, equipment, including tractor beams and medical guns. So down here we have the equipment section. This is indeed new. Weapons, modifications, all that stuff. Very easy system to actually drag into. Much better than the looting screen we have now. And I won't even bring up the inventory because that's useless. But again, concept art, July 3rd, 2025. What I did not expect is that just a couple of months later, when they were in a talk with Benoit, they actually brought up, oh no, I'm sorry, not with Benoit. This was during CitizenCon. They actually showed us a working in-game version, just like with those derelicts that I did not expect to show up that quickly. So this isn't obviously close to being ready. There's plenty of problems with the way that the UI looks, but it is functional, and they have actually got working on it. That's not something that you're really expecting. Like when you hear about something from CIG, it's okay. You can admit it. I do too. You don't expect it to come anytime soon, but they got to work on this. So I think it's very possible we see some kind of testing on this year. It sounds like they're trying to push hard on it, and I think that's a good thing. They're realizing just how miserable the looting situation is, and the fact that like we need actual inventory management, not just the ability to pick stuff up and equip it. What they mentioned here in addition was that the team also worked on the different inventory tabs and floating item slots, kicked off the early stages of capital ship repair, rearm, and refueling. And yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say. This looks pretty similar to this. Like you can see that they're headed in that same direction. They've got the floating items here. Visibility is not great on this version, but I'm sure they'll get closer to this soon. Less cluttered too. Overall, I like where it's headed. I'm glad it's headed. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great addition, but that's basically all core gameplay was on this week. Get that inventory in our hands. Let's see and pray that we get to test this in the tech preview at some point soon, and we can get the inventory rolling into the next couple updates. New inventory for 4.4? No, definitely not. But maybe 4.6 inventory? Somebody quote me on that. Judging by what's happening with it, I think maybe it could be a 4.6 kind of thing. Maybe.